What's up, guys? It's Ryantium here, and today we are back in Skyrim. That's right, you guys, and oh snap, is it gonna be an awesome freaking day? So guys, welcome back, and happy Temper Tuesday. So out of all the mods you voted on for last week's episode, this is the one that won. But don't forget, down there in the comment section, vote 1, 2, or 3, or check out the poll in the top right-hand corner to see which mod we're voting on for next week's episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the TYRAEL armor and Eldruin sword. I want to say that's how you pronounce all of that stuff, but for those of you that are looking for the other part of this armor, it actually is part of it, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a second. But what exactly is this armor, guys? Well, this is indeed one of the armors of TYRAEL from Diablo 3. In fact, I believe it's just from the Diablo games in general, not necessarily just Diablo 3. But only ever having played Diablo 3, that's where I knew him from. But I gotta say, holy shit, this armor looks really, really cool. The wings, not so much, because they don't move like they normally do. So we're gonna go ahead and take those off, because they don't look very cool. But overall, this armor is absolutely gorgeous. So where exactly do you need to go to find it? Well, the only place to craft it is at the Skyforge. Unfortunately, it's kind of a hassle for those of us that don't want to lug tons and tons of materials over to here, but that is okay. So we have the Dark Eldruin right there, and we have the Light Eldruin right there. And then if we go ahead and scroll all the way down, we have the Armors of Corruption, as well as the Armor of Justice. Now what's nice is if you know the Glass Smithing perk and the Ebony Smithing perk, you can then craft heavy or light armor of both of the armor sets. Now if you're seeing those gigantic numbers, that's because I'm actually in God mode right now. And in fact, let's go ahead and take that off just like that. Thank you very much. So let's actually take a look and what this looks like. So far, my armor rating is at 129 with the TYRAEL Armor of Justice, the Boots of Justice, Gauntlets of Justice, and the Hood of Justice, with the Wings of Justice not having anything on there. Now with the Corruption, obviously you have, it's the same armor values for each, except it's different colors, as well as heavy and light armor. So we can actually take a look at this one, because if I'm gonna be honest, I like the corrupted one more. I don't know, it's just I'm a fan of the black and red. All right, so let's see. Go ahead and come here, and then the Wings of Corruption, I guess, on this one look kind of cool. But both freaking armors look absolutely incredible, and in fact, I'm using the wrong sword for this one, but that is okay. So let's go and break these armors down together, shall we? So let's see. We'll take out the dark one just in case. So the first thing that I love so much about this is the fact that the textures are pretty high resolution, because, you know, normally when you see a lot of the ports of different armor mods from, or different armors from different games, most of the time they're not as high resolution as, you know, they should be, I guess. But this one I was delightfully surprised at how nice the textures look, as well as just how it all fits together. I mean, it literally looks like he's inside of the game, and it's because he is. But it's just kind of cool to have it, you know, in Skyrim. Is it too fantasy for Skyrim? I'd say, yeah, probably. Diablo 3 and Diablo just in general has always just been uber fantasy, kind of along the same lines of World of Warcraft, honestly, in my opinion. But all of the textures, they look great, they fit well, and I think it just looks amazing. Now we can go ahead and take a look at the light one as well. Then again, we did already look at the light one, so we'll go ahead and put on the Wings of Justice, as well as the Hood of Justice, and the Gauntlets, and the Boots, and then the armor. Now that stuff is light armor, so my armor rating is 117 with the light armor, which is pretty cool and pretty nice to have, and both armors look exactly the same. It's just a difference between the colors. Now let's see exactly if we can temper this stuff. So there isn't a workbench up here, but we can see if we can improve the weapons. So yes, you can indeed improve the weapons with void salts, so that's good to know. You can indeed improve those, but the wings lost me. They look really, really cool if you're gonna take like a thumbnail picture or something like that, but as far as using them, they're just not practical. I mean, they are gigantic. They are absolutely massive, and without the animation, I think they lose a lot of their what's the word I'm looking for? They lose a lot of their flair, because normally they're supposed to be waving, you know, they're supposed to be waving off of his back and almost look like wings, because they are wings. But let's go ahead and see what exactly we can do, because I assume we'll be able to temper it. So yeah, you can indeed temper it, and if you're wondering where exactly the armor is actually at, it's all the way down at the bottom towards the smithing level. It's not it's not pathed correctly inside of the viewer thing, but you can indeed temper them, which is always nice to see. And then last but not least, let's actually see if we can enchant it. So let's see, we'll go ahead and come over here to the enchanting table. And go ahead and come over here. And yes, indeed, you can enchant it, which is a very nice thing to have, honestly. Being able to enchant these... Oh, you can enchant the rings, too. That's kind of cool. Being able to enchant all of the armor as well as the weapons kind of makes it a nice thing, especially if you want to add all sorts of magical abilities that you might actually find within Diablo. But that's pretty cool. Now, like I said, the armor itself, the weapon themselves, they are great. They look, they look great with their high-resolution textures. They're not 4K textures. I don't even think they're 1K textures. I could be wrong on the 1K, but overall, I think it's just a really badass armor. Not to mention, you throw this thing onto an armor rack, and it's going to look pretty freaking cool. But guys, with that being said, I very much hope you enjoyed today's little mod showcase, and I will see you in the next video.